Hey everybody. Want to do a video in reference to my trip around the world. So I posted a video when I was in Hawaii, and I was like, okay, y'all, I got to figure out how I'm going to pay for this trip because it's probably going to be about $60,000 with me and my children. And yes, this is an experiential learning adventure for my kids. Anytime you're going to go travel around the world, they're going to learn something. But yes, we are also going to have fun. Everything that I do, I have fun. Kind of give you a backstory a little bit of how I got to this number. So you guys know that I've spent the last 2 years traveling, pretty much trying to get around the world, 50 new adventures before I turned 50. And the number one question that I get is like, how do you do that? How did you pay for that? What in the world, right? So first, number one, I'm very frugal. So I always want to hook up. I always want to deal. I will take the time to find a good price for things that I know that I'm going to enjoy. Yes, I'm going to splurge on some things, but I'm not willing to splurge on to others. And anytime you bring someone else who can pay for themselves, that automatically makes your trip cheaper. Now, I still have to pay for my airfare and my food, but anytime I add a girlfriend or a friend to my trip, except for my husband and my children, because they become multipliers instead of being able to divide and break that thing down, it's going to make my trip cheaper. So that is why I was able to do a lot of my trips for under $1,500. Now, I had a few trips towards the end, Spain, Turks and Caicos, that were a little bit more expensive because they're just more expensive places to stay. But I'm taking this trip with my kids around the world. So that means that I have to pay for everybody. And I don't just have $60,000 of disposable income sitting around, especially when I'm paying Spelman tuition out of pocket. Let's keep that real. So in the previous videos, I said I'm gonna need your help with a couple things, right? You can donate some of your points to me. I know some of y'all have these points credit cards, which I do too, and you guys have all these points that you are not using or you don't know how to use when it comes to travel. And you can transfer those points if you think that you're getting ready to lose some points, or you ain't gonna use your points and you don't know what to do with your points. I'm asking you to give those to me or book some stuff for me. So that's hotel points, that's air mile points, that's credit card points, any type of point systems that you have, that works for me. Also, I also asked for if you have a timeshare. A lot of people have timeshares or vacation homes that they don't use and they're sitting empty. You can give that to me. I'll be willing to pay whatever fee it is that I'm not paying the entire fee for the lodging. So you can help in that way. Now, we are going to be staying in some hotels because my sister's girlfriend, Renee, just said, hey, I work for this company and you straight when it comes to this hotel. And I was like, bet, I'm going to use it. And the same thing happened when I did the 50 before 50. So when I did 50 before 50, I was talking amongst the social committee, the ladies that were volunteering, and I said, y'all, I'm going to take this adventure. And Rihanna said, hey, I'm going to put you on my friends and family. What? Yes. So a lot of times when I was able to travel, I was able to use her friends and family discount and saved a significant amount of money. So when I take these trips, it's not necessarily how much I'm spending, but it's actually how much I'm saving. And the same thing goes for the flights, because I have a Citibank card and I literally put any and everything on that Citibank card so I can accumulate points. I have risen to a status where I can get a lot of stuff for free. So it doesn't cost me anything. So when I go to, where am I going? Colorado Springs in a couple weeks, I'm not paying for that flight, right? I'm using my points and I'm getting the flight to Colorado Springs. The same thing when I went to Hawaii. I flew to LAX for free because LAX was on American Airlines, and I had points on American Airlines, and I was able to fly to LAX for free, and then I was able to get my flight for $200 to Hawaii from LAX. So that is a savings. Like when y'all, doing those internet searches and only going to Expedia and only going to Kayak, y'all are on the wrong search engines, because those are going to always tell you the more expensive prices. You're just seeing the cheaper version of the more expensive thing. So that's why I say, if you have points, you can transfer them to me, because I will need them. I will be traveling with a family of 4. The other way that I'm going to be helping to take care of the cost of this trip, because people want to know, is that I'm going to rent out my house. My husband's going to be here by himself. And no, he cannot go. He can go to some places, but it's not we telling him he can't go, but somebody has to work, right? If I'm going to be going around the world with the children, somebody has to work. But he doesn't need a house for 6 for himself. So how are we going to offset that cost? We're going to rent out our house, and all the money that we're saving from renting out our house is going to go towards our travels. We're also going to buy a condo for much cheaper than our house. And so when we rent out our house, it's going to be able to pay for the condo, and it's also going to be able to pay for some of our travel expenditures. So there is a plan, right? But I'm the queen of the hookups. That's the name that I have given myself in my company, Your Go-To Girls, because I do work. I do have jobs. Most people don't know that. And so that is how I'm able to pay for things that I want to do. And so that is one way. So if you have a timeshare, if you have points, transfer those things to me. I will use them. Most of the time you guys are paying for that stuff and you never even use them. So those are 2 things. The other thing is that if you know someone in a country that we're planning to visit, I need you to hook me up with that person too, because they're going to be able to tell me on all the things I'm going to be able to save on when I do my excursions, when I book my hotel, where am I supposed to stay, where am I supposed to go, whether or not, hey, if I could stay with you. My dad's friend lives in Belize, and he was like, next time you come back, you need to let me know so I can hook you up. I have a girlfriend who has just started a whole life in Panama. And so I'm like, okay, where do I need to go? Because that's what I do every time I travel. I ask the person who's already been there, what did you do? Where's your savings? All of that stuff. So that's another thing. The other thing is that I do have a business, right? I mean, I'm a woman of many talents. And so instead of asking me to do something for free for you next time, consider it to say, okay, I'm going to pay Tasha her services and what she's worth. And, if I decide to do something for free, that's on me, right? But that goes to help for the cost of the trip. And for people who know me, the things that I do. So instead of asking me to do it for free, you pay me for it like you would pay any stranger. And then finally, it's, if you want to give a monetary donation, I'll take that too. A lot of people don't know is that I am literally a professional beggar. My career was professional fundraising executive. I raised millions of dollars for nonprofit organizations, so I don't have a problem asking. And the only reason that I'm asking is because, hey, if I can save some money, or if somebody wants to help me like I help so many others, I'm not going to refuse that. I'm going to do like my friend Denise told me, just say thank you. And that's what I'm going to do, right? And so just for clarity purposes, yes, I'm asking, because if you ask, you shall receive. And when I posted the video, I already got one person who says, I'm going to help you in this area. And I was like, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Because I know that I would do the same thing. Now, if you just want to watch and enjoy and be entertained by all of my excursions, please feel free. If you want to help get us to where we got to go, please feel free, because we're still going to get there. I don't know how we're going to get there, but by the grace of God, we're going to get there. The other thing is that people have asked me, where am I going on the agenda? How does that work? Originally, we were going to start in Mexico City. But when I came back from Hawaii this time, I decided, because my kids wanted to go to Hawaii, is that, this is really about them. So they want to go to Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is not cheap. not at all. But because I've already learned the travel hacks for me, I'm going to be able to institute some of those same travel hacks and be able to get flights for my kids, only pay for certain things, using points, and I'm gonna end up going back to the hotel that I went to this past time, because it was actually the best deal, and I've already did the work, and then we're gonna leave Hawaii, and my goal is, Lord willing, is that we're going to visit the Polynesian Islands, the Micronesia Islands, and the Melanesian Islands. Now, I started doing research on this because when I came back from Hawaii, I was like, oh, this is what we get ready to do. Because I learned so much by going to the Polynesian Cultural Center, because I'm a history buff, y'all. You know, I like history. I like to be able to say, that is not true. That is not what happened. And I was able to, when I went this time, I did a private tour. Learned so much. The girl that's actually from the island, she talked more about the culture. So I was like, oh my goodness, you know, my kids need to experience this. And this is part of this thing where I've been traveling and I keep saying my kids need to experience this. My kids need to experience this. And I'm not going to wait until they're older. I'm going to allow them to experience it now. So, but when I started looking at those flights from Hawaii, because you know, Hawaii is in the middle of the ocean. And then you fly to another spot that's in the middle of the ocean, right? But it's a 10-hour flight. So like I want to go to Fiji, Tahiti, Bora Bora. Those are all in those islands, and Guam and Philippines. But sometimes those flights are expensive. And if you got 4 people traveling, that could end up being $5,000. But of course, you know, I already done circumvented that, because I will look at the low budget airlines, because that's just a smidgen of our trip. And so I was actually able to find a flight from Hawaii one way to Australia or New Zealand for under $200. And people talk about this airline like a dog, but they got on it. And if I believe that if you prepare, like you bring your food, you know where you're going to be sitting, you got your entertainment, you got your earbuds, your hand wash, your water, you're going to be okay. And so if I can take my kids from Hawaii to New Zealand or Australia for $200 a pop, oh, we're going to be getting on that low budget airline as long as it gets us from A to B. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And we're actually going to take a reverse trip. So I was going to do Mexico, Central America, South America, Europe, then Africa to the Middle East, to Asia, and then back home. But this time, I really think I'm set on going from Hawaii, flying cross country, then down to New Zealand, Australia, and probably go to Cook's Island. I read about that place too. Try to get through those islands in the South Pacific, and then going to Australia, and then hitting Japan, because I'll be over there on that side of the earth. So that is the plan. And if you want to help, I'm going to take all of it. And thank you in the process. I will start some kind of special page or blog for people who are supporting us, who said, hey, keep us abreast of your progress, all of the other stuff. And the other thing is you are more than welcome to come on any leg of the journey. The only thing that is required is that you have your own money, because I'm not paying for you. I'm already begging for money from me and my kids. Number 2, it is no drama. Absolutely no drama. I don't want to hear you complain. I'm going to have 3 kids with me. I don't take girlfriends on trips that complain. And when you complain or give me a hard time, you are not invited back. Because what you see that I post is really what happens. There's nothing that we're leaving out. It is really a good time. And that is what I want to have. I want to have this amazing experience like I've been doing for the last 2 years with my kids, like I did with my friends. So you're more than welcome to come. The itinerary will not be public, because I'm not crazy. Because people don't always have the best intentions for you. But I will kind of give a skeleton outline of the places I'm going and the times that I think that I will be there, so that people who want to join us at any time during the travel, you can let me know and we can help make arrangements for you to get there. So that's what I have to say about that. I will make additional posts to keep you abreast of my progress. And that's it for now.